Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phoebe Joy. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 20. I'm your host, Phoebe Joy, and hi. Hey, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. It's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I'm currently recording this on Friday, on Black Friday. And y'all, I didn't go out shopping, not one bit. I wanted to. I don't know what it is. I think I'm still feeling slow from the slow season of fall, and I am not ready. I don't know what it was, but I feel like I lost a week somewhere in November. Like somehow it was Thanksgiving week. Like Thanksgiving was yesterday. It has come, it has gone. And I'm still like, wait, what? What? Thanksgiving? Like, it's time for me to put up my Christmas stuff. And I'm like, I feel like I just put up my fall stuff, and I feel so behind, but we do still have another week of Thanksgiving. I don't know. Somehow I guess this fourth Thursday just felt really quick and sudden. I cannot believe that Thanksgiving was yesterday, that we already had it. And it was a good Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and was able to spend time with your family or friends and was able to do whatever you felt like doing on Thanksgiving. I know that I had the chance to go spend time with my husband's family. We usually try to get together Thanksgiving and Christmas, the kind of common times. But so it's been a long time since I've seen my extended side of the family, and it was really good to see them. The food was amazing. Shout out to all you chefs out there, for all you people who prepared food. And I say this with genuine appreciation and kudos to you, because I am one of those who I haven't reached that point in my life yet where I am obligated or expected to bring food. Like, I can bring stuff sometimes, like I'll bring a dessert or something, but I haven't been like asked to bring food, and I think and I'm resting in this. I am staying in this for as long as possible. Sometimes my mom might want me to cook something, but as long as somebody is willing to cook, look, I'm ready to show up and show my gratitude. But yeah, so we went to my husband's aunt's house, and as we do every year, and it's awesome because, like I said, I get to see the extended family, spend time with them, and we just had some good old food, y'all. We had some lovely collard greens. I'm glad somebody made greens. I wasn't sure. I'm glad that they did, and they were good, just as salty. You know how I like it. So we had some collard greens. We had the green beans. We had the broccoli casserole that I definitely like. We had the chicken and dumplings and the turkey, and we had ham, which, I'm more a ham person than a turkey person, but I definitely enjoy them both. And then let's see. Oh, and then we had, of course, the deviled eggs, which surprisingly, I do not like to eat deviled eggs unless I make them. They're weird. Unless my mom makes them or I make them, I'm very iffy about deviled eggs because people make it with different things like mustard or mayo, depending which one, and the different seasonings for the inside part. What's that part called? The yolk part to make the deviled part, I don't know, but that inside part, people make them different ways. So usually I don't eat those, but I did grab one of those. We had the dinner rolls, like the kind that you only use for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. And with butter them, put them in there. And the great thing about them is when you get them, I mean, they're like soft, squishy texture. Like I love, from what I talked about with my bacon, I like squishing my bread and kind of like making it kind of not like moldable, squishy. I just like squishy bread. And so those dinner rolls are really yummy. It was all really great. And then the desserts, you guys, they had, of course, I'm a cookie person, y'all know, and they had a cookie cake from the Great American Cookie. Just a full-blown big old cookie cake. I was like, oh my goodness, somebody speaks my love language. And then there was these bars that they have every year, and I love them. And they're like the peanut butter kind of Rice Krispie kind of bar with the big, like, thick chocolate layer on top. I mean, they made it thick on top. It was so good. And then they had the like a veggie tray and a fruit tray, which I didn't even touch. And they had the sweet potato. We had the sweet potato of casserole with the nuts on top, the pecans or walnuts. I think they were a mixture of both. I know there were some pecans on there, maybe some walnuts, maybe it's just the pecans. But anyway, with those candied pecans on top, you guys, it was so good. And that was Thursday, so that was yesterday. We got to spend time with the fam, his side of the family, and do all that. And then today, my family was able to come over. And I did cook a little bit. And by cook, I mean like I just made the sides. And my husband made his infamous turkey, which turned out amazing. It was so good, so moist, so flavorful throughout the entire thing. The skin was really flavorful, which I love. I'm a big skin eater of my chicken and turkey. So the skin was good. The meat was good and flavorful, which is huge. He did excellent. He outdid himself this year. It was so good. And then we had, of course, the ham that my mom made, the sweet potato casserole. And then I made some mac and cheese, not the good kind, just some regular old mac and cheese. And we had some rolls, some Hawaiian rolls this time, shaking it up. It was yummy. And of course, a caramel apple pie, for afterward. It was great. And so the fam came over for that and we had a good time. And actually, while we were over here, my sister came over, and of course, we were able to record our book podcast. So that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Probably this next episode, if not this next one, definitely by the end of the year. Look, it's all about books. And we went through it as quick as we could because we knew we had a lot of book suggestions. So it might feel like, oh, I wish I had more detail about that book. I know, but we had a lot. And we might afterward, you guys, we still had so many more books we wanted to talk about, but we were like, okay, we've already talked for an hour. We did take a break in between to actually eat dinner, but we did talk for an hour about books and just suggesting them and the books that my sister liked from when we were kids all the way up till adulthood. So be on the lookout for that, but that was fun. So we were able to record that, and after I edit that and get that out, I can't wait for you guys to enjoy my sister with me in that aspect. That was really fun to do that with her. But yeah, so it was just a good time, hanging out with the family, a good time to just, reminisce, to think about, and to be extremely grateful for who you still have around you. I did. There were some moments where I said, I'm going to intentionally look at my mom and dad and my sister and my husband right now, because I am so grateful that they are still here. There has been so much loss. I mean, and there always is, there always is loss, but just lately there also feels like there's been a lot of loss with people that I know. And so I can't help but be grateful every moment, because we're not promised tomorrow. And I know we hear that all the time, and it's sort of, we don't want to think about that, and we don't want to live in that. And I don't want to live in that at all. But I do want to live grateful and thankful for what I have. And if I have to think about kind of like that mindset to get me to be grateful, to get me to be thankful, then I will, I'll embrace it and be like, you know what? We aren't promised tomorrow. And, it is a blessing that I still have my family here, and I need to love them every moment that I can. So yeah, Thanksgiving, that's been the last couple of days for me. I do know that, not that this is the Thanksgiving podcast, but since we just had it last year, no, it wasn't last year. My goodness, no, it was many years ago. But a few years ago, I had made this Thanksgiving journal, and I'm not sure if I talked about this. Man, that's the thing. When you do a podcast, did I talk about my Thanksgiving journal, my thankful journal? I really might have, but hey, it's Thanksgiving. We don't talk about it again. So if you maybe missed that episode where I talked about it, or if I'm completely making that up and I never did talk about it, we're going to talk about my thankful journal. And what that was it was a little journal that I kept by my bed, that I wrote in every night, just one sentence that I was thankful for that day. I did talk about this, I remember. And I would just write down one sentence a day, and I was able to do it for, a good 6 months. And I feel like, man, I might need to get back into that. Just one quick thing that I'm thankful for. I know I did that last night at the end of the day. I was like, okay, can you name at least one thing that you were thankful for? And it could have been, I could have come up with the deep things, or I'm thankful for my family, those generic things. I was like, but what was something that genuinely made you smile? And when I came up with, I was like, this, what? Of all the things, there's lots of things to be thankful for, but one of the things that genuinely made me smile was when one of my little cousins, I would probably say she's a second, maybe even a third cousin. She's my husband's second cousin's daughter. So we're cousins like a few times removed, or like second, third cousins or what have you. But she came up to me and just gave me the biggest smile. And she was like, hi. And I said, hi. And she was like, I have a cat. And she told me about this cat she adopted, and we were talking about it. And I knew she was leading me to, she wanted to show me the cat. And I was like, oh, where's the cat? It's in the laundry room. I was like, oh. And she's like, do you want to go see it? And I'm like, of course. But just that little interaction with my little cousin was just the sweetest thing, because honestly, we don't see each other that often. We just see each other, once or twice a year. She's only like 5 or 6, I think. And so she's, real young. She doesn't remember much of me, I don't think. And yet she was just so excited to show me her kitten, which was the stinking cutest little thing ever. So kittens, of course, can bring all kinds of joy. But that was something I was like, I'm just thankful for that moment. I'm thankful that this little kid smiled at me and showed me her little kitten. I think its name was Pinky. I think it was like Pinky Maleficent or something like that. But too cute. And I was just thankful for that, thankful for a quick moment that happened at Thanksgiving dinner. So even if I don't write it down, I think I'm going to try to make it something that I think about each night. Just one thing. I know writing down helps because that makes it more, tangible, something you'll remember, something that you can definitely make sure that you're doing and keep up with, kind of hold you accountable. But I don't know, maybe I'll do that, maybe not, we'll see. I definitely want to spend my life trying to be more thankful, but yeah, great. It was a great Thanksgiving overall. And like I said, I hope you guys have an amazing one. Actually, so, going back to the food, I know. And this will be my food segment, because going back to my food, we had at work our potluck, our Thanksgiving potluck, and somebody, I think, and I know who it was, one of our teachers, she brought in some tamales, like homemade tamales, and like a ton of them. And there were 2 different kinds. There's like the red sauce, the rojo sauce, and the verde sauce, which I think is green maybe. And it was, you guys, this was my first tamale ever. Like I've read the book to my kids, Too Many Tamales, and I've seen tamales and I've heard about them, but I've never had one. So I got one, and my mom did. I remember going to my mom and I was like, because I was looking at it and she's like, I think you need to take the husk off. Like if you've seen a tamale, it has the husk around it. And I was like, do you though? Like, I think you do, but I don't know. You guys, I was not sure. And I'm sure everyone who's had tamales is like, of course you take the husk off. But y'all didn't know. And I didn't bite into it. I did not. I just kind of waited. And then my mom was like, I think you take it off. And then I went to go ask, one of my friends, I was like, okay, we don't eat this part. And they're like, no, you don't eat that part. And I was like, okay, just making sure. Like, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. And it was, y'all, I took the husk off and it was, y'all know my word, it was good. It was so good. It was, I mean, I had to go back. I had to go back and get more and save it for later. That's how good it was. And this is potluck, y'all. This is a school potluck, but it was so delicious and yummy. So, yes, if you know how to make tamales, thank you. Make me some tamales, okay? Like that sounds, man, it sounded so good. It was good when I had it, and now I'm starting to crave it. Like that was my first time, and now I'm like, you know what? I think I want a tamale. It's Thanksgiving, and I want some tamales. But yeah, that was really good. And you all, this was another just pleasant surprise. So I think in the last episode I mentioned that I was starting to crave corn, like the corn pudding, and somebody made it at our teacher potluck. One of our teachers, our special area teacher, she made it and it was so yummy. And I had to tell her, I was like, you don't realize that I've been craving this. I've been wanting this, and it's something I normally do not get. And it was really yummy. And she sent me the recipe. It seems to be super easy. So I think I am going to try to make it at some point. You guys know me. If it's an easy recipe, I'm all about it. So I'm definitely going to try to make that maybe for Christmas or something. Maybe, I mean, obviously I don't have to wait for then, but, I think that would be a good something. And if I can learn how to make it and to do it really well, look, this would be me inching my way towards, being part of the food bringing aspect of all of these holidays. They'll be like, Phoebe, are you bringing your corn pudding or whatever? Because I think you have to have a dish. Like, that's how you get in. Like, you create a dish that everybody likes, and then they start wanting it. And then you can expand into some other things, but you got to prove yourself first with that first dish, and then after that, I think you're accepted into the food making part of the whole family. So we'll see if that ends up being something that I could do. I don't know. If I do make it, I'll let y'all know how it turns out, and if everybody else seems to like it. I wanted to say also that I love, and this kind of connects to being around family and being during this thankful time, and that is taking pictures of the moment. Because I know while you're in it, especially for men like my husband, it's not fun taking pictures, and it can even feel awkward. Like, okay, try to get everybody together. Oh, somebody's eating. Oh, somebody's about to leave. Oh, this, that. And so you don't get that big family picture, or you don't capture those pictures because you're like, we're just talking, we're just hanging out. But try to capture those pictures, because man, you go back and you look at those memories. You think you'll remember everything. You will not remember everything. And so pictures help capture that. I know my family and I, we went to go last Sunday, I think it was last Sunday, to a farm. And so we drove up there to go to it, and it was fun. We took pictures, we ate the food, and I took lots of pictures. And it first started out with like, let me just get a couple of pictures. Let's just get some pictures of the fam, fall pictures, let's go. But then we were like, well, let's walk around and do stuff and take more pictures. And it ended up being really fun, and we had some great pictures. And they just capture memories and moments. And it's only been a couple weeks, but I still like looking back and looking at them and be like, oh, look, that we just did that. That was fun. And that actually thinking about pictures and how awesome it is to capture moments. One of my biggest regrets, honestly, was not being part of a picture of a group of friends, a group of us who we grew up together, and we had come back together for a sad occasion, and we were going to take a picture, and my family and I, we left before the picture. And when the picture came out, my heart was so broken, because who knows when we'll get another picture like that? Who knows when we're going to get another picture with everybody there. So this season, if you can take the pictures, I know if you're a dude, you're like, look, I can't. Let the person, let your wife, let your mom, let whomever take the pictures, okay? And just suffer through it. It'll be all right. And in fact, to go the extra mile, feel free to take the pictures of that person, because a lot of times the person who's taking the picture isn't in the picture. And so they're capturing all these moments for other people, but who's capturing their moments, So yes, take all the pictures, do all of that, capture those moments. I want to do that. I want to make a scrapbook. I wish I could. You guys know that was part of my, I think, hobbies that I wanted to do, or something that I wanted to do was make a scrapbook. And I still want to. I just got to buy all the stuff, and that can get pricey, but I made a scrapbook for when my husband and I went to Hawaii, and I love looking back at that. And so I definitely need to make a scrapbook of the UK trip, but not even just big trips, but even other little things like the printed picture. Man, like, we don't do photo albums anymore. Like, everything's on phones and things like that. But it's still kind of cool to be able to see pictures that are printed, like just to look at them, just to see the picture. And so that's something that I definitely want to do, is print more pictures, make some scrapbooks, capture those moments, even when I don't feel like it, just to have those for one day when things are different or things change, or as people, you can see changes. You can be like, oh my goodness, look, you were shorter than me and now you're taller than me. Oh my goodness, that was before so-and-so was born, or that was right when so-and-so was born. The little things that can make it fun and can make living life and reflecting on life and looking back on everything just fun and good. And so that was I'm definitely a picture person. And this is kind of funny because we, a couple weeks ago as well, last Saturday or the Saturday before, there was at our school, we have a Girls on the Run, which is a program for girls, and where they learn about, friendship and, being all those things about being a girl, but they also run. They do a race, and they train, and they, build up for a few weeks and until they get into this, I I think it's a 5K race at the end. And so one of my teacher besties is the coach of it. Kind of like last year, last school year, but earlier this year when we did cross country, same coaches, and it's same friends, but just different. With cross countries in the spring and Girls in the Run we do in the fall. So we did the Girls in the Run, and so I was able to go to the race because, well, one, the coaches, I am friends with the coaches, but also some of the girls that I meet I have a math group, and they are like, I don't know, most of the girls in that group were part of the Girls on the Run. And so I was like, I'm going to go support them. I've got time. Let me run over there. And I was able to go. And while we were there, y'all, I'm a big picture person. My principal was there. Other teachers were there. And I was like, hey, we should get a whole group picture with our school, of everybody here, of the parents. And everybody's like, oh, okay. But then everybody started getting into it, and phones started whipping out, and we got a picture with everybody. We got a picture with the coaches and the kids. We got a picture with the kids and their parents. We got a picture with everybody. I got a picture with my math group girls. And actually, come to find out, one of the girls in my math group, I taught her older sister when she was in second grade, and she's taller than me now. She's in seventh grade, and she's bigger than me, just taller. And I was like, oh my goodness. So it was really cool to see that. And we were able to get a picture. But yeah, so those pictures to capture those moments. So even like my Girls on the Run moment. And what's funny is what helped me, the sister that I was just telling you about, the older sister that I had taught, I could barely remember her. I was like, my goodness, it's been so long. But I went back and looked at a picture, and Mom showed me a picture, and I was like, oh my goodness, I remember her. And y'all, the power of pictures, okay? I think I'm going to have to put that in the title. Pictures, something about taking those pictures and looking back and just seeing the changes, capturing those moments. When the next day when we went to school again, I think that Monday or Tuesday, I had the pictures available to show the girls I have a smart board, and I put the pictures of my math group girls on there, and they were so excited to see themselves on the smart board screen. I mean, they were getting excited. They were getting loud. They're like, that's us. Oh my goodness. Look at my face. Oh my goodness. It was so cute. So yeah, take the pictures and let other people take the pictures, because that's just fun. And it is good to look on and to see the changes and things like that. Speaking of exercising and the girls doing the Girls on the Run, I have to say that I am proud that I was able to go to the gym 3 times this week. This Thanksgiving week, I went this morning. I went the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, and I think I also went on Monday. So woohoo! As I mentioned last time, Hubs and I, we are in this. We were in this competition to see who could win or lose the most weight in a week. And let's just say we both were, well, no, I think I totally would have won, but he was like, this wasn't the best week. Let's put it off a week. And that was this past week. And I was like, nah, I don't know. And now it's Thanksgiving week. So while, I don't know where our competition stands, at all, I will say I have tried to kind of still, stay active, still go to the gym. I'm thankful that I've been able to go to the gym, that I have a gym that's 24 hours, and that I've been able to do that and roughly try to counteract, somehow take off a little bit of the yummy food that I've been eating the last couple of days. And when I say, I mean, y'all, I haven't cared about, trying to watch what I eat this week. Y'all, I have not cared about trying to watch what I eat this week. Because it's Thanksgiving, and then it was the school potluck, and then it was Thanksgiving at, his family's, and then Thanksgiving with my family. I mean, how can you? It's only, one time a year. And then of course Christmas, but hey. So I am at least proud of the fact that I was able to go to the gym 3 times this week. So I am grateful for the fact that I was able to do that, to counteract some of this food stuff. But at the same time, I have greatly enjoyed this food and greatly enjoyed being able to eat whatever I want. And it's like, this makes me think about on the lines of racing, those people who do the turkey trots, who Thanksgiving Day wake up and work out. And I've had a couple of my teacher friends who I knew who were doing it. Y'all, I mean, what? Like, what? Come on, you guys. I'm proud of you all. I'm proud of you guys for doing that. I don't know that I will ever do that. I was thinking, because I did think about it. I'm like, you know what? Do you think you'd ever want to do, like a turkey trot or like a 5K on Thanksgiving Day? And honestly, I have not. It just that did not hit me. That desire, it didn't. It didn't touch me. It hasn't hit me yet. So, for those of you who do that, awesome. Shout out to y'all. Good. That's awesome. I think that's great. You're getting out, getting exercise before you go in hard. If you do go in hard, but I'm not quite there yet. Not quite yet, but but it'll be all right. Hey, I did my little bit of gym time. Maybe not on Thanksgiving Day, but I did try to surround it with some exercise here and there. The next thing I had, so this is related to school, since on the lines of school, I do try to sometimes have my notes organized in a way that they kind of lead into each other, and then sometimes they're just random. So this is kind of connected as far as with school, and that is I had a successful moment of speaking Spanish at school. So at our school, we have the ESL department. I think I've talked about how ESL is changing. It's from English as a second language it was English language learners, and now it's multilingual learners. And so we have our office of multilingual learners in our school. We just have our ESL room, and all the ESL teachers teach in this big room. And there's a lot of times our front desk staff will send up phone calls of our parents who speak Spanish, because we have our bilingual instructors and assistants upstairs in that room often enough that they will answer the phone and help those parents. Well, lately though, our bilingual instructors have been helping out throughout the whole building. And so when they send up these phone calls, we don't always have someone there who's bilingual. And so one of our bilingual teachers wrote out a kind of like a script for when parents call or when people call who speak Spanish, and it's just a script written out in Spanish with pronunciations next to it that you can say to the parents. And so we had a parent call, and one of the only people up there was myself and another teacher, and neither of us spoke Spanish, right? Well, I speak a little bit. I'm just kidding. And neither of us are fluent speakers of Spanish. And so she answered the phone, and I was like, okay, we got to use that script. And she's like, okay, you go ahead and use it, and I'll follow along, because she didn't really know about it yet. And I said, okay. So I answered the phone. I was like, hola, no habla español. Pero, and I said, I can't remember what the phrase was. We can call you back, but give me your information. We'll call you back. And I was like, necesito información. And it was the guy parent, and he giggled. He did laugh a little bit, and he was like, okay. And so I was like, tu nombre, and he gave me his name, and I was like, tu nombre de estudiante, and he gave me, and then he started talking and told his student's name, but then like all this other stuff. And I was like, espera. No entiendo. Like, I don't know what you're saying. And he laughed a little bit, and I was like, teléfono, por favor. And he gave me his telephone number. And then I was able to say, we will call you back as soon as possible. And he was like, gracias, thank you. Okay. And I was like, gracias, adios. And he laughed. He was like, thank you, bye. But I felt so empowered. And the other teacher, we were like, we did it, because we got his name, we got his information. And literally like 2 minutes later, our bilingual instructor came in, and I was like, hey, we had a phone call, and he was able to call him back. But I felt very accomplished that I at least was someone understood what I was trying to say, with the help of the script, of course. But hey, like, I was able to read it in Spanish enough for the parent to understand what I was trying to say, and for me to understand back. And it was awesome. And luckily I did know my numbers. I think he said his numbers in English. I think he did. I can't remember if he said it in English or Spanish, but we were able to write them down, and I felt very proud. I was like, yes, a moment of success. I was able to communicate in Spanish with help to a parent. And so hopefully that will continue. I thought I would share that, as you guys are currently part of my Espanol journey, and going into that. It's funny, because when we're in the hallway, my kiddos, a lot of them are Spanish speaking students, and So I tell them with me, I said, you got to practice your English because that's why you're with me, is to develop your English language. So it'll be just as good as your Spanish speaking. And so during our lessons and during our group time, I will, encourage them to speak English and things like that. But when we're walking the hallway, I'm like, okay, y'all got to teach me a little bit of Spanish. And so they were talking a little bit and I was like, hey guys, I said, how do you guys say hallway? And I think they said Isla or something like the aisle or whatever. And I was like, okay, we have to be silencio in the hallway or in the aisle. And they laughed. I was like, you guys. But they did, they've been helping me to try to learn some of those little things like silencio and siéntate por favor, which I think is sit down, please. So yes, so thank you and shout out to my students out there. I don't think any of you are listening to this, but I do appreciate all those who are helping me trying to learn my Spanish. Duolingo. Oh my goodness, you guys. So I haven't done my Duolingo in a few days, and the emails that you get, like they're like, we miss you with like a little tear. I'm talking about guilt trip making me feel bad. I got on Duolingo today because that little tear that was like, we've missed you. It's been 3 days or something like that. And I was like, oh no, let me get on. So Duolingo, while your advertising or your email notifications, I do not like getting them every day because I'm like, but they do remind me and I do click on it. Like I don't always just go to the app. I go through the email. I click on the email. So it is kind of working for me. But so thank you, Duolingo, for trying to stay on top of it and making sure that I am practicing my Spanish. But yeah, so talking about my phone, one thing I've noticed, at least in the last month, and that's I am at the mercy of my phone for what my phone cover picture looks like. Like, you know how you can set a picture to be your like your homepage picture and then also your lock screen picture? I don't know exactly what it is that opens up that lock screen. It's like if you hold something down long enough or press something the right way or what have you, but it'll take you to where you can choose your lock screen. And then it goes through pictures that you've chosen before. And I never know how I get there, but my lock screen photo is always different. It's never what I have set it on, but it's like either because I have my lock screen, but I also have my home screen, and they're two different pictures. But like somehow they'll be matching, or it'll be a completely different picture that I've had before, but somehow it's still on there, still an option. And I am like, what in the world? And I am at the mercy. Like I haven't taken the time to Google, how to, what's the quick way to change your lock screen, because apparently I'm doing it. Like just holding my phone, somehow I'm doing it. My lock screen is just constantly being changed. But I'm at the mercy of it. And it's hilarious because it's like a game. It's like, like if I catch it, I'm like, I can actually pick the lock screen I want. And then a day or two will pass and I'll look at my lock screen. I'm like, when did it change? Like what happened? So I don't know what's going on there. I probably will Google it. I think I've Googled it once before. I just can't remember. But I am at the mercy of my phone when it comes to what my lock screen photograph is. It's never the one I want, but yeah, I guess I'm just at its mercy. And I was just sharing that with you guys because I was like, surely there's other people who are the same level of slight laziness, because I'm very sure easily look on Google on how to fix it and change it, but I just kind of let it go through its own thing and just like, okay, I guess we're changing pictures now, but I do want to go and fix that somehow. We'll see if that actually happens. I don't know. But yeah. So one other thing that I want to throw out there was drinking out of, this is funny. I wrote this down. Drinking out of a mug at work is cozy. I don't know what it is, and it could be the season that we're in. Just, we're in that cozy season. We're in that where warm drinks, are kind of like the vibe, the thing right now. It's what you're craving. And when I drink out of a mug at home, it's so cozy and warm feeling. But I found that when I go to work, if I drink out of a mug at work, I get that same kind of cozy feeling. And I kind of like it because I have my regular water bottle, like the big thermos type thing. I do have that. And then sometimes when I go to Panera and I get my teas and things from there, those come in, your to-go drinks. And that's fine. I feel kind of hip, with that too. But drinking out of a mug, just like an open-faced mug, I don't know, there's something that feels like homey about it. So that even when I'm at work, before I go get the kids, or even sometimes with the kids, I'll, have a mug. And it just it's comforting. There's something about it that feels a little comforting. I know when I was feeling sick a couple of weeks ago, I do keep some mugs at work, and we keep, some teas and things like that. And one of my coworkers got me one of her, kind of like the little packet of like vitamin C that you can put into your cup and things. And so I did that, and I had my mug, and I was just like, it wasn't even a warm drink. This was just some vitamin C powdered stuff that I was drinking, but I felt cozier already. I was like, this is going to help. And so drinking like those warm drinks just out of the mug at work, it's cozy. Try it. If you have to work this week or something, and normally you have your thermos of water, or you've got your to-go cup drink or whatever, put that in the mug if you can. If you got time, if you're at a place where you can do that, put that in a mug and just see if you can feel that kind of like that vibe of like, okay, this is kind of homey. This is kind of cozy. And I like it. I like the way that felt. I'm really liking and enjoying waking up to like cool air. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like that feeling where, I mean, it's cool outside. I mean, and it's like when it's cool outside. I don't know if it's fresh air coming in. I don't know if it's the cool air. Not waking up to like where you're like freezing. You don't want to get out of bed. That part of it, that's not fun. But the waking up to cool air where it's just like you can tell there's a chill in the air outside, and it's almost like you can smell the coolness of it. I don't know, like it's just it's the holiday vibes. Like you can tell, like this week, at least 3 days out of this week, I've woken up to just feeling like holiday cool air vibes. And it feels good. And I do think it's part of the anticipation of, time off work, time with family, seasonal things, the holidays are coming. I think all that kind of plays a part into that kind of feeling of like freshness, like, oh, here we come, maybe even as we're approaching the new year. All of these things I think kind of contribute to that feeling of when you wake up, and it just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. I hope you do. Like when you just wake up and you can feel the coolness, the lightness, I don't know. And then the sun will be bright. Like you can tell the sun is bright because of, the whole fallback thing. But no, the sun's bright, and it just feels cool and crisp. Like the air feels crisp, even inside your house. I don't know. It's great. But like, what's funny is on the flip side of that is heat. I also enjoy feeling the heat of like being indoors, and not just feeling it, but sometimes the smell of heat. I know that's so strange. I know, but like, do you know what I'm talking about when you can smell the heat coming in? That's probably like, Phoebe, if you can smell heat, something's not right. But I mean like the smell of heat, like when you're just even, and it's kind of funny because I can smell it when I'm cold and heat kicks on, and I'm like, here comes the warm air. Or sometimes when I get too hot and then I really can smell the heat, and that happens a lot in my car, I think. But for the most part, I enjoy the smell of the heat, which is, I know it's a weird thing because I like waking up to the coolness, but then I need to feel and smell the heat. And maybe I like the smell because I know it's bringing some warmth, because y'all, I live cold. Like I'm always cold wherever I go. And so I like to have my heat on. In fact, it's funny because even in the summer, in the room that I record in, kind of my little office room, it just stays cool. It doesn't warm up like ever. I think it's because it's slightly extended past the house. And so it's just its own little world of something that my air and stuff doesn't get to. And so I always have my heater on, just this little space heater thing. And my husband's like, come on. And then like, so I've been, y'all, since we've been home for the holidays, home for Thanksgiving, I've just had my little heater going as I've been working on my paper for school. Side note, you guys, I had papers. I do not like writing papers. I don't. And I've had to write it on my break, on this holiday break, y'all. I've had to write a paper, and I got one more to do, and I'm almost finished with this one. But y'all, you talk about a slight damper on your holidays, but being thankful. I'm thankful that I'm in school. I'm thankful that actually I'm getting it paid for. I'm thankful that I have the time to be able to write this paper. Okay. So anyway, so being in my room, I've just had my little space heater on and keeping the heat on and absolutely like making it so cozy in here and warm. And my husband's like, look, I turned the heat on in the house. And I'm like, but it's not good enough. But so I'm definitely one of those who constantly needs heat. We actually have this kerosene heater as well, like this big old kerosene heater thing that I enjoy, and I can't wait for us to turn that on here and there. And we have, our fireplace. I just like the heat, particularly when it's cold. I like the heat to just keep me warm, and I like the smell of the heat. So yeah, that's just a lovely random side note of smelling the cool air when you wake up and smelling the heat. So yes, so we're entering into, of course, we're already in the holiday season. We've had Thanksgiving. From here on out, it's like Christmas parties, Christmas events, Christmas programs, things like that. All of this end of the year holiday stuff, which I love. I love. Which have put me kind of in the mood for a holiday movie. And last year, y'all, this is funny. I guess I don't know what it was, but I was feeling the little Hallmark like type movies, like just the little romances. I mean, like rated like PG, for the one kiss at the end type stuff. Like just these cute little movies. And normally I find them quite cheesy. I'm not a huge romance type movie person. Like I don't really like romance movies. I prefer action or something like that, but definitely not romance. But last year, these little like Christmas romances were interesting me. And I think I'm kind of feeling it again this year. I'm like, I just want a cute, lighthearted, like Hallmark holiday movie or something. And I've been thinking about maybe I need to go back to like the classics or something, like White Christmas or Holiday Inn or something like that, which I might look into that. But just lately I have been feeling like I think I want like just a cute little holiday movie. I don't know. And if you have a suggestion of one, like a favorite little holiday movie that, doesn't do too much, but just kind of lighthearted, easygoing, kind of like this podcast. Let me know. Send me a message. Text me, if you're my friend. What kind of holiday movie suggestions you have? Just some good ones, some lighthearted, fun ones, even some kid ones. I'm fine with that too. Sometimes even cartoon movies can be cute and fun to watch. I'm trying to think. There was this one that my husband and I would watch with our daughter. Man, and I can't remember what it was now. It was a little Christmas movie. It wasn't like Frosty the Snowman or anything, because if I remember correctly, that one was that, I didn't like that one. I think I didn't like that as a kid. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long. But anywho, which one was do you guys remember the one? It was like the abominable snowman or something. And I know he was like a scary looking snowman. I don't know what that was, but I can go ahead and forget that. I'm sorry if I brought that back up to your memory, but look, I'm like, I don't think I want to think about that one anymore. But yeah, so I've been feeling those holiday vibes and want to get a holiday movie. And I also want to, but for the last few Christmases, we've been trying to play games for just like Phase 10 or Monopoly or whatever game we end up buying. And so this year I want to find another game that the family can play. I heard about a game called Hit and Miss from my other podcast. And it sounded interesting. And so I think that's the game that I want to get. I'll let you guys know if we do end up getting it. But I think that's a game that I want to get that I can play with my family for the holidays, like over Christmas or something like that. Because that would be fun. And I'm surprised we didn't do anything this Thanksgiving. I think I need to make that into a tradition. Like, okay, like we do play great games on Christmas Day, but maybe we can start playing games on Thanksgiving as well. I know Thanksgiving is more like the food and, the football game or whatever, which my husband, he's a Dolphins fan, and they played today, actually. I think they won. I have no idea, you guys. I mean, I hope they won because that would make my husband happy, but football, I guess Thanksgiving is that. I guess it's, the football and the eating and the relaxing. So maybe games can definitely be more Christmas, or not. I don't know. I think we could do both. Maybe next year. We'll see what happens next year, what we'll end up doing. But one more thing that I kind of thought about when it comes to the holidays, this was funny. This was with my husband's side of the family. I had noticed that, and this is it's not just his family. I've noticed this with other families too, that the older men, like I'm in like older, like 60s, 70s, maybe even, will sit cross-legged, like with their leg across, just like knee over knee, right? And I'm like, I think you have to be like that. I call it the old man cross. And I giggled because I talked about this with my husband either last year or the year before. I'm like, how old do you have to be before like you start doing the old man cross, which is just when you cross your legs at your knees? Because I feel most younger men, and older men too, but a lot of men usually cross their knees or cross their legs with their ankle on their knee, if you can kind of picture that, kind of like that triangle shape or figure four type shape thing. And but I've noticed that, sometimes older men will sit more, with the knee to knee crisscross. And so husband and I were joking about that last year. And you guys, I was sitting next to the hubs and he was sitting next to his uncle. And his uncle had his legs crossed like knee to knee. And Hubs had his leg crossed ankle to knee. And I was like, oh, look at that. My theory, Hubs is still a young man. And I kid you not, like 5 minutes later, I look up and husband had his legs crossed knee to knee. And him and his uncle were looking identical. And I was like, oh no, have we crossed over? And I was just teasing, but I was like, oh, that is so funny. And I snuck and took a picture to show my husband, back to the picture thing, which is funny. So I don't know if that's something anybody else has noticed. And I'm definitely not saying that if you cross your leg at your knee, that you're an old man, if you're a man who does that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that seems to be a trend that I've noticed of posh older men, of elegant, classy older men who cross their legs at their knee. And so I thought that was funny because it, like, literally my husband, I had just noticed and I was like, oh, he's not doing it. And then he did it. And I was like, oh, and then I had to laugh. I was like, oh my, well, we are getting older in age. I mean, it is what it is. Since this is the season of Thanksgiving, I am thankful that we are getting older. I am thankful that we're, growing up and able to spend life together and do all those things. So yeah, I know this is shorter than normal. I think it's just because I've been so busy with holidays and having fun stuff and spending time with the family. So I am sorry that it's shorter than normal, but trust me, we will make up for it with my sister's episode. Like I said, we recorded and I think we got I know we got over an hour, I think. I'm pretty sure we because the first, we broke it into two parts, like I said. And I think the first part was like 35 minutes to 37 minutes. And the second part was like another 30. So we're at least over an hour. And that's not even, including the introduction or anything like that. So I will make up for it in the coming episodes. But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving. Remember to be thankful. Remember to be grateful in this season. And hang on, y'all. It's about to get busy, but it's going to be fun. So yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing next couple of weeks. And when you hear from me again, y'all, it's going to be December. It's going to be December. Can you believe it? I can hardly believe it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, all right, you guys. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you guys in a couple of weeks.